Yeah, we're live on pre-show memes. If the world has not exploded by me pressing those buttons. Let's find out. We appear to be up on everything. We are good. Hello, world. If you're receiving this transmission, congratulations. The end is not near. Not this week.
How would the end be near?
Don't worry about it, Shadow.
Wait, what's happening?
Nothing is happening. Don't worry about it. Just keep reading Pandora Hearts. Welcome. Hello, Sheena.
This keeps
Welcome,
happening.
welcome. Yeah, things do happen. They tend to. Things keep happening. Don't worry about it, okay?
Yeah, but like the world's going to end
What
next
keeps
week.
happening? Tell me.
The end of the world. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Everything may be shutting down today, but that's fine.
What?
Because we were able to go live today, and that's all that matters.
What, all the cloud servers? Ooh, I saw
Yeah. It killed a bunch of websites.
that. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I know about this.
Don't worry about it. Okay, book
I'm worried.
club. Well, I told you not to. You're supposed to go, haha, yay, when I do that, okay?
Oh, first of all, Chip, I never do that. That's the first
Well,
problem.
I think that's your problem, yeah. I think that's your problem.
That's your problem.
No, your problem is that you expect me to do that.
I mean, I feel like it would solve a lot of problems if you did, maybe.
Such as?
The concerns you are having now.
Alright, Yoan, fair enough.
Okay, anyways, we are here. Lady Galaxy said they won't be able to make it. I believe Andy will not be able to make it.
What are you talking about? They were reading yesterday.
Okay, what?
Surely they'll be in time. Time vastly late, I mean.
And we're waiting on Spaghetti. Spaghetti's pretty much the only one I know that may show up now. We gotta ping Coda, of course. Coda's been reading Pandora Hearts, right?
Yeah.
Well-documented fan of Pandora Hearts.
What are all these screenshots I have on here? Oh, that's that and that's that. Okay, we can get rid of these. The old screenshots from the previous Pandora Hearts streams. We can get rid of all of those. Boom.
Yeah, it will be funny.
I already deleted them all. They're gone.
God damn it.
Ruthless.
A true savage.
Oh yeah, I've just been reminded. I have to... Discord broke before everything broke. And it made it so that it doesn't automatically detect streamer mode anymore. So I have to manually do it every time. I don't know when they're gonna fix that. But it's fine. Okay, you're about to get pinged. Oh, you already did get pinged. I already hit enter on that. Okay, never mind. Haha, yay! Okay, we are up on Twitch, YouTube, all of that, the works. And we're just waiting to hear from Spaghetti. Is there anybody else I'm missing? I think it's pretty much just Spaghetti, right? Alright, alright, alright. Move this here, and this here. And this here. Okay. Where's my volumes? Here they are. Welcome, welcome.
There's Spaghetti.
Hello, hello. Okay, let me get volume 5 and volume 6. That's what we're talking about this week.
What about volume 8?
We're not there yet. That's next week. We're not there yet. Getting ahead of
You
yourself.
may not be.
Getting ahead of yourself here.
Discord had like clan tags at some point. What the hell's this?
Yeah, they added this a bit, but they've only been slowly rolling it out to some places, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if the .hack server got a clan tag yet.
I found out because I went to the Anime Boston When They Cry photo shoot stuff, and I gave them my business card so that they could send me a link to the photos they took on their end later. And I found out they emailed me today with the link to them, the ones that they took, and apparently their group for the Boston area is called When the Lobsters Cry.
Oh my god.
Which I think is amazing.
I know when the lobsters cry. It's when you boil them.
Oh boy. I was like, oh, I got an email from When the Lobsters Cry. Oh, okay.
That's brilliant.
All right, I think we are ready to get started, right? We got everybody and we're all ready to go. All right. Why is there an Why is there an
Is Ari here? Is Ari here?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh no, she
well,
can't hear
I
us.
guess
She's
it
got
does-
earbuds in. All right, we're getting started.
Unfortunately, Ari's too short to see.
Great, we're getting started. Welcome everybody to another exciting week. I'm the Anime Book Club here on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick all at the same time. We are here to continue our discussions on Pandora Hearts. But before we get into volumes 5 and 6 discussions for this week, let's get into the guests that we have for this week. In alphabetical order based on what I see on Discord, as usual. We will go and start with Arimia Alice. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Remy and I like shonen stuff. Yeah, I'm the one that recommended Pandora Hearts alongside Spaghetti and Shino here. They're the ones that forced people to read it, so they are now down the madness. What do you call it? Recommendation this week. I've been reading The Resurrectionist, which is an actual novel. Yeah, I'm in my novel arc right now.
Oh my god.
No, not visuals, just novels.
Oh my
It's pretty
god.
good.
Oh, sweet. Wait, what was it called? It was
The Resurrectionist.
The
It's about not
Resurrectionist.
body snatchers, not grave robbers. They just take the bodies
Oh.
for medical purposes.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting.
Totally normal things.
Oh, okay. Well, if you are interested in that, go check that out. Thank you so much for that. Next up, Aztec. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Aztec, and I'm reading this story because I'm here.
Does
I
yeah,
don't
make
do
sense?
things.
Oh, okay. Ever?
Never.
Based.
I'd say my recommendation for this week's a video game, Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon.
Ooh.
It's a
was-
lot like Skyrim, except it's set in like the Arthurian legend type of thing, except it's like Dark Souls shit has gone down.
Oh, interesting. Have did you play through all of it so far, or are you still playing in the middle?
No,
of it?
I'm like halfway through.
Okay.
There is a slight hesitancy because it doesn't have the best performance.
Ah, I see. Well, enter with caution, but if you're interested, go check it out. This is on Steam, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
All right, go check that out if you're interested. Next up, we have me, Pandora Borg, aka Wolfborg, aka Chaplain, aka the best anime book club host. Yes, exactly. I would recommend. I had the recommendation in my head when Ari was talking, and now I don't remember what it was. Hold on, let me check notes nervously here. Okay, let me check my notes here. Akane Banashi was a pretty good manga from the 20-ish so chapters that I read. It is about what's the comedy style called in Rakugo? It's a shonen series about Rakugo, and it's pretty good. So I'll go check that out if you are interested. I don't. Oh yeah, it's still releasing. It's not done. So go check it out though. It's been going since 2022. So it's got an 80% score. Holy shit, it's cooking. All right. Next up, Sinner Shino. Introduce yourself.
Yep, I'm Shino, the resident cute girl enjoyer. I'll probably recommend the Little Busters visual novel again, since it's very good. And I would say that at least one of the routes would make you cry, probably, so good game.
Ooh. Hell
At
yeah.
least one.
How many routes are there?
It's like a lot. I feel like there's like 10 girls, maybe, if you include the EX routes that are included in the English edition, so it's like pretty long.
Oh, okay. Well, check that out if you are interested in that. And next up, we have Sinnerman V4. Introduce yourself.
I am Shadow. I play video games sometime. The thing I recommend today is Dreams of Aether.
Dreams of Aether? Okay, what's that?
Yeah, it's so you ever played WarioWare?
Yes.
Okay, it's that.
Okay.
But it's on Steam for like $4, not even.
Oh, all
I
right.
think it might be like
Cool.
$3.
All right. Anything else?
No.
All right, go check that out if you are interested in that. Thank you for that, Shadow. Next up, Emily. Why did I say that? Emily Fan Club. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I am the Emily Fan Club president, and my recommendation is Devil May Cry because it's on sale right now
Ooh.
for I think another week. Because of course, you know, Father's Day and all coming up, you gotta play Devil May Cry,
Base.
and yeah, go Dante.
Go
Get
Dante.
motivated.
I still have yet to play
Wow.
any of the Devil May Cry games. I need to though. I should.
They're all on sale right now for like $7 a pop, bro.
I'll go
Dang.
get them right now.
Get it while
I'm
it's
going.
hot.
I'm going for Father's Day. Thank you so much for that. And that should be everybody for this week. So, let's
Now-
begin our discussion. What do you got? What do you got?
Before we dive into Pandora Hearts,
Oh,
Baguetti and I have 2 updates for previous book club titles. So
okay.
first I'll give my update.
Mhm. Is it a Mineko?
Yes. We found out that apparently there is an anime adaptation for Poirot. Agatha Christie's main detective called Agatha Christie's Great Detectives Poirot and Marple. It's just an anime where this girl she's like the great granddaughter or something of Mrs. Marple, who's an old lady. She just like forces Poirot to take her on as an apprentice and solve
A
crime
doctor.
and stuff.
A doctor.
What?
Yeah.
the fuck?
So it's 39 episodes or something. So we watched a few the other night, but yeah. So that's the Umineko update. What's the Rose Maiden update?
Oh no.
So, okay, so
I know
I'm
there's
in
an
the
omnibus.
process of grading my Vita to a bigger hard drive space so I could have more games on it. And I was like, oh, let's look at what kind of games that I didn't get to play the first time around.
You found
And I
Rose Maiden?
see a Rosen Maiden visual novel by none other than Mages.
Mages. Made a
Base,
Rose
base.
Maiden visual novel.
That I don't know what it's like. I don't know if it's good or not. I don't even know if it's in English. But you bet I'm gonna download it.
Base.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
No, not download. I mean, ethically port it to the hard drive.
Yeah. Of course.
Hee
All right. Well, thank you for those updates. Oh my god, I gotta check out the anime and the game. Wait, where's the game? What can you play the game on the PSP?
Well, I put It's on the Vita.
The Vita?
And it's on the PlayStation 3.
Oh,
All right. Oh boy.
You know, you just have those lying around somewhere.
Having never touched a Vita, like what was its game system? Like the PSP had these weird little discs inside a plastic case.
The Vita has cartridges similar to like the DS.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
it's a word committing sins. That's good.
Yeah, what's annoying is like I do have a small collection of games, but it has a limited memory card, and the native Sony memory cards go for like 50 plus nowadays.
Oh, jeez.
They've always been pretty expensive, and it's only for like 30 gigabytes or something. Like it's not good. So I you know, nice that people are still developing for that console, because it's pretty good. It had the first version had an OLED screen on it, which is amazing. It still holds up.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Highly recommend.
You guys keep talking for 1 second. I have to get a new thing of water, otherwise I'm going to lose my mind in the middle of the talking. I'll be
Wow.
right back.
You had all this time.
You had all day to get a water. Anyway, let's talk about the Vita.
While you guys were talking, I finished all my chips and grabbed a toothpick. So I don't know what you have excuses here.
Wow. True. I
Alright, I'm
remember
back.
when I got my PS2, I had to a few years ago, I had to pay like $10 or so to get one of the like memory cards for it. That's like what, 200 kilobytes or something. Something ridiculously small.
Yeah.
PS2 is measured in megabytes, okay?
You know what I mean.
Oh,
It was
boy.
probably like 2 megabytes or something. 4 megabytes.
I think their
That's a
music
lot.
files had to fit on like 8 megabytes. Like that was it. That was all they were allowed.
Holy shit. All right. Well,
Goodness.
let's get into the Rose and Maiden talks now.
The
Volumes.
Rose and Maiden
yeah.
talks?
I'm
Jack,
sorry. I'm sorry. You fucked
Pandora
with me.
Maiden, you mean?
You fucked with me. We're
Hey,
going
we're
back.
on
We're talking about
mistake
Rose and
for
Maiden
me.
again, okay? We got to talk about the sequel
we're
now,
going
all
back.
right?
Let's
This is
we're
the
going
secret
back.
book club pick, okay? Now we got to talk about the sequels that half of us didn't read. Actually, almost everybody
Who
except Ari didn't
knew?
read here.
Asterisk with Ari.
What? I read it. In
Did you
fact, you
read
can say I'm reading it right now.
Yeah, I said everybody except Ari hasn't read it.
This is true. That's what I heard.
Huh?
All
Anyway,
right, anyways, we're going to talk
one.
about Pandora Hearts, not Rose and Maiden, okay? We're talking about Pandora Hearts. Very
Not
different
BB,
series.
episode 2.
This series,
That's what
I'm
I tell
assuming,
you.
this series, I assume, will have an actual ending at the end of this this ride. Bold assumption, I know, but it could happen.
imagine if
Actually, you can very subtly hear Ari laughing in the background.
this has an ending. Yes, I know that the bar is on the grounds, but it does in fact have an ending.
Well, that's good to know.
Rose and Maiden.
So,
What?
so volumes 5 and 6, we're starting off, continuing the fight with the Cheshire Cat and the dimension thing that I forget what this place is called. We're in some like domain
cat's
that the
domain.
cat lives in, I guess. And in the middle of this fight, we get Jack showing up, who claims to be
Very saucy.
the person from 100 years ago from the Vesalius family. I don't know if I said that right. I don't care if I didn't. And I guess we started off with Oz going back to the events of 100 years ago, a massacre that I believe was known as the Sablier incident. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that either. Sablier, which I think was supposed to be the old capital. And an incident occurred where a whole bunch of people fucking died there. and if I recall correctly, it appeared as if Vincent was involved with it and or the cause of it. I forget what the implication was there. But Vincent was there, it seemed, somehow, if I understood that scene right. So time travel shenanigans appear to be continuing again, which obviously I don't remember if this was confirmed in the story or not. It leads me to believe potentially that Vincent and Gil are probably from 100 years in the past, and then whatever happened, and they didn't remember when they showed up in the start time of our series, that's where they were from, either from repressed trauma or other memes. I'm not sure, but either way, the implication seems to be that they are from 100 years in the past, and or went 100 years into the past at some point when they were children, and then the incident occurred, and now they're here now. That was one thing I remembered happening towards the beginning. We just kind of had that reveal in the middle of Oz trying to find Alice, and the reason for this being revealed is because Alice, if I'm remembering this right, the implication was that Alice was a human and was murdered during this event.
Yes.
So this is why we went back and revisited that memory of that event, and it developed our understanding of Vincent more, and also our understanding of Alice a little bit more about what may have happened with her. And so I'm trying to remember where it went from there. It went from there to basically we have to find Alice and get the fuck out. I forget how that all resolved now off the top of my head. Most of this week's reading, most of what I remembered was the stuff with the Academy stuff after this stuff. I remember reading through the Cheshire Cat stuff and being like, oh, okay, so we're getting this reveal about the stuff 100 years in the past, and then like I couldn't remember most of what happened in between, and then I was like, okay, so we left that place now and we're back home. I remembered Break was using the Mad Hatter chain or whatever on Cheshire Cat, or threatening to, at least, and then they left. They just left. I don't know. I don't remember what happened to the Cheshire Cat. What happened to the Cheshire Cat?
I guess. Whoops. Sorry, Chef. He's not main character.
We just
Well,
because last week my prediction was he was gonna like get Vegeta into the main group, and I did not predict it would just be that we just leave the cat. We just abandoned the cat. What happened to the cat? Where'd the cat go? Where'd the cat go? Oh, we have different cats now. Okay, we have different cats from the Academy. Okay, where'd the Cheshire Cat go?
How do you know they're different?
Oh, well, that's true. That is true. That's a good point. That's a good point. All cats could be the same cat, for all I know. Could be
9 lives, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's at least two additional lives that we saw at the Academy, right? There was like 2 cats in there, I'm pretty sure.
I didn't realize they get to use them simultaneously.
You know, I didn't know either, but you know, I don't know how cats work in the world of Pandora Hearts. Chains
if
and
only
such,
9
you know?
would hear, they would know.
You
I don't know how cats work, period, so.
That's true. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Okay, yeah, so Break essentially fought against the Cheshire Cat. They got out of there. Apparently after those events, however they got out of there through like Jack's help. They teleported in the middle. Oh, I think I remember now. It was Sharon's, that's her name, right? Sharon's shadow horse thing chain teleported them out of there in the middle, back in like our world, not in like a past world or whatever, as far as I know. In the middle of a conference between the 4 dukes or whatever of the kingdom. So right in the middle of them was Oz dropping in with the Alice going full bee rabbit mode. And they were like, what the fuck is all this? We gotta stop this shit. And then Jack just kind of took over Oz's body, and everybody just could feel his aura.
Oz gets dropped in. And no one knows he's still alive, by the way.
Yeah, he was like, Uncle Oscar, what are you doing here? And everyone's like, seize him, kill him. What the fuck are they doing here? Get rid of that Alice, whatever, the rabbit. Yeah, kill it. Uncle Oz is not stepping in to be like, wait, guys, wait, hold up. We can explain this. And Jack had to take over Oz's body to be like, hey, you know it's me. It's me. It's your boy. All right, the Jack from 100 years ago. Back from the grave to tell you all, I may have killed Glenn Baskerville years ago, all that time. You may have thought that. He's not dead. He's alive, and everything is about to get fucked. So, this is just a warning. You guys gotta protect Oz. He's the key to everything. You gotta work together. Anyways, bye. And then we just continued from there after that reveal. I think it jumped then to... What did it jump to? It jumped to... Vincent had apparently grabbed Sharon, and what was it? They were trying to kidnap her to force Vincent to exchange the bell that he took from the Cheshire Cat, which was supposed to contain Alice's memories of the incident that happened, I guess, or memories in general. I don't remember. And to really make sure the exchange happened, Vincent poisoned not only Sharon, but his assistant Echo. Both of these women were poisoned at the same time so that he could prove the antidote worked by using it on Echo and then threatening to drop it, throw it away unless he was given the bell.
Unless Break destroyed the bell.
Oh yeah, unless Break destroyed the bell, because apparently only Break's chain could actually destroy the bell, or was one of the few things capable of destroying the bell. That was an important detail. So he does it, and then he's like, okay, but I'm going to drop the antidote anyways, but Echo saved
like a real villain.
Which, by the way, I think, if I recall right, the panel where he's administering the antidote to Echo, I'm pretty sure he just makes out with her.
I wish I was poisoned.
Yeah, he's just molesting her.
I wish I could be poisoned. It should have been me.
Damn. All right,
You're the kind of man that will accidentally kill you.
Oh God.
Let's go to the soundboard one day. By the way, one day.
that was a scene that happened, because I remember the scene from like last week where it's just like, oh, okay, that's happening, and that's just how we administer antidotes now. I think doctors recommend that. Maybe I don't.
I hope.
Maybe. So that scene happened. Echo saved the antidote from getting dropped, I guess. Don't know if that was a part of Vincent's plan or if that was an act of defiance. We'll find out in the future, I suppose. But Vincent, I'm trying to think, because he appears in a later panel, from what I understand, to be working with the Baskervilles. I don't know if this implies that he is a Baskerville, or if he's just working with the Baskervilles. I don't know if the Baskervilles are an actual family, or if they're just like a cult, or how that works. But it seemed like he was working with them regardless, to some degree, if I was remembering a panel correctly. So something's going on with that.
They were a dukedom?
A dukedom? Oh, dukedom.
Yeah, they had a duke.
Okay, dukedom. I thought you said dukedom. I was like, what's a dukedom? Okay, I understand.
You've been duped,
the Baskervilles.
Chap. That's
okay,
what it
yes.
is.
Okay, I understand what you're saying with that, though. Because in my head, though, I'm just like, okay, Vincent was involved with the incident 100 years ago. Does that mean he was a Baskerville 100 years ago, and they had him do the massacre or whatever? Does this mean Gil's a Baskerville? If this is the implication of what that means, these are just thoughts going through my head. I don't know if any of this is even remotely close to what will happen in the future, or what will get revealed in the future, but at the very least, it appears to be that Vincent is fucked up and evil in some degree. Don't know for what purpose, for whose side. I don't know if also this is going to be one of those series where the Baskervilles are going to turn out to, in some way, be the good guys or whatever. I
don't think they will.
I don't think they will
I'm pretty sure
either,
they're just
but
evil.
I'd imagine, but what?
Didn't one of the covers include a Baskerville with a chair that was reminiscent of an Iron Maiden?
Wait, what? Wait.
It was like a chair. It was like a metal chair with spikes all over it, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, these are the bad guys.
Well,
No, that's the
better an
throne of the
Iron
good
Maiden
guys,
than a
okay.
Rosenmaiden.
Listen. To them, they are the good guys. All right, I'll have you know.
From my point of view, that
I'm trying to see if I can find. I don't know. Was it on one of the covers that we've read already, or is it on like a later cover maybe?
For volume 6.
For volume 6, let me see here because I
Oh,
want
wait,
to put
hold
that on
on.
stream if I can find it.
Chef, I think it just might be the thumbnail for the stream. Hold on a second. That'd be very funny.
No, it's not the thumbnail. The thumbnail is not.
It's not in the thumbnail, but it'd be funny if it was.
No, the thumbnail is the actual cover, which is just what was her name? Lottie?
I don't remember her name. Chef, there's a lot of characters going on here. Okay?
She's just floating on air in the big cover of it.
I'll
Is
put
it-
it in filler.
Let's see here. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah,
It just
you
looks
know.
like a censorship block at first to me.
All right, I'm putting it on stream.
Yeah, it's a nice chair, you know, after a stressful day, long day at work, and you just want to relax.
Listen,
This is
I
the
feel,
type-
The bunny's crying.
listen, I feel like
pull up
Br-
your book club chair, you know.
This is the type of chair that Sora from
Meanwhile,
Yu-Gi-Oh! All the
Shino's
Life Wire-
absolutely swooning over this woman.
listen, I
She-
feel like
you're like, why couldn't I be poisoned? Shino's like, why couldn't I be that buddy?
Shino was extremely jealous of Oz this chapter.
oh my god, because that was basically after all the Vincent stuff happened to us.
Woman that will actually kill you.
Oh my god, thank you for that. After all the stuff that happened with the Vincent stuff, we entered the next set of adventures we're going on at an academy. We've decided to...
Jeff, there's some other funny shit that happens. Hold on.
Yeah, sure. We're going to pause on whatever other funny shit you're mentioning, okay? We've decided to finally remember that the sister showed back up. We finally decided to remember the sister exists in this realm. And so we just kind of take a trip to the academy in the middle of the day to go say hi to her, I guess. Specifically because the uncle got a letter from her saying, I'm in love now. And he's like, wait a minute, I can't have that shit happening. All right, we're all going on an adventure right now to figure out what the fuck is up with that. And I think
There's a
We're on a
secret
mission.
door.
it's an important, very important
a
mission.
secret tunnel, some might say.
Oh yes, yeah. They showed up there and he was to me like, all right, so we're just gonna go here. This is where our secret family passageway is. Listen, I didn't build it. I'm gonna use it though, but I didn't build it. Okay, listen.
This is entirely my fault. This is only mostly my fault.
All right.
Someone very reasonably brought up, hey, can't we just sign in as visitors? No, that would take too long.
All right, Shadow. What were you gonna bring up?
Okay, so before they do that, when Oz sees Break again, it's in this frame and it's great. You know, Break really has that Columbo quality of appears from nowhere and goes back into nowhere.
It's just what he does. I'm showing it on stream. Here we go.
Classic.
It's just what he does. I did notice. I think which volume was it? Was it volume 5? I think it might be both of them. There was gags at the end of both volumes about how certain characters just weren't included in volumes, and one of them was just like, sorry that there was no Emily. So
Sorry, we'll get
here's
to that.
here's
That's
an
a comedy.
advertisement to buy an Emily. I remember that.
There's also there were Oz and Breaker exchanging information, and Break's like, Oz, beware of Vincent. But he does that, but he has like this.
I
he's doing
noticed
this.
that. I noticed that it was like supposed to be a very serious panel where he was seriously warning him about Vincent Nightray, but he's got a series of plates and a teapot on his head. He's like, watch out. You gotta watch out. That guy, you can't trust him. You can't trust him. Meanwhile, this was immediately after Oz and Break were talking, and it seemed to be they were doing a serious exchange for information. Oz told him literally everything he knew, and then Break was just like, I'm not saying anything. I didn't say I would actually tell you anything. I just, you listen. We're here to have a talk.
Unfortunately, we're also out of time, so see you later, Oz.
Yeah, and then he just leaves. So Break
Big
just kind of
shame.
got away with like, let's have an information exchange. All right, bye. This is like well, what's his name did in Pluto? Was it Tenma or whatever? The doctor from that
Yes.
was like
Yes.
having a meeting with the other scientists. They gave him all their information, and then they were like, "All right, your turn." He's like, "No, I'm gonna go now." So,
There's also where I forget his name. He finds Oz and he's just dead immediately.
oh yeah. Raim just kind of burst through the door to yell at Break, not realizing that he has like hit Oz by doing so. Happens. It happens. I'm trying to remember. Sharon's okay now though, right? Sharon's like awake and okay
Yep.
now.
Okay, but also
POV, you're a small
she better be.
Victorian child.
I think there was an implication though of Break bleeding in the middle of the fights. Probably, showcase it to the viewer about how. Remember when he said he probably has less than a year left or whatever? This is probably a sign that he's slowly dying, perhaps. I don't know if that was supposed to be the implication of that, or if that's a side effect in the Mad Hatter chain. I took it as an implication about, hey, remember, he said he's gonna die, so it's probably a sign. I saw those scenes. I was remembering All Might from My Hero. Maybe he was just kind of like, yeah, I'm the hero, and then it like start bleeding. And like, okay, yep, that's the reminder. It's not good, not going well there. So that's what I was thinking with that. Is he gonna die? Is Break gonna die before the end of the series? Is his time running out? Probably. But is it gonna run out anytime soon? Probably
he
not.
also brought up what they call quote unquote the intention of the abyss again.
Oh yes.
And then I don't know if he like had an eyeball or took it out, or he was remembering his eyeball getting taken out or what. That was a wild panel.
That's true. We finally got more information about what happened with his eye. His eye was supposedly taken by the intention of the abyss, and that eye now supposedly is being used by the Cheshire Cat, I guess. So
As you know?
Somehow the cat has the eye, Break's eye.
You're an eye for an eye.
It happens. Makes the whole world blind. I hear.
Well, if the intention took it, the intention can give it to somebody else.
I take it. The eye gives.
If that's what it intends to do, that's what it can do. What other Break developments did we have? I do remember. Hold on, I found the art for it. Let me see if I can. I think I have to. The process is I have to post this in this chat. Then I have to open it on Chrome. Then I have to save it. Then I have to drag it onto OBS. I gotta find a way to make this process faster.
Here's what you do. You pretend it's not happening and just stall by just talking.
Well, then how would I have the image show up on screen in a faster manner by doing that? That's the problem I wish to remedy, not a distraction while I do that.
It's called Frick.
Anyways, here's the left eye. Apparently, it just got taken, and he recognized it, and apparently the intention of the abyss took it, and now the Cheshire Cat has it. Again, I don't remember what happened to the Cheshire Cat. Did we just leave the cat, or did we take the cat? What happened to the cat?
He's gone. He's gone.
The cat is not. It's not gonna be a main character. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't care if he's not a main character.
Yeah,
I want to know what
didn't
happened to
wanna
him. Is he
burst
fucking
your
dead or
all's
not?
bubble.
That's
I mean,
fine
he
if he's
got
not a main
erased, right?
Everyone was
character.
excited.
That's fine if he's not a main
Everyone was excited
character.
last week.
Listen, it was cool, but that's
And-
fine. If he's not a main character, that's fine. What happened with him? I don't remember it showing what happened with him. Was I misremembering? Was he
I thought
erased?
Break erased him.
If he did, that's fine. I just didn't remember that happening.
Wasn't feeling very good, Mr. Stark.
Again, when I was reading that bit, I was like, oh yeah, we're still doing the Cheshire Cat fight, and then like, I don't know, maybe I blinked or something, and then I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're out of there now. So I couldn't remember what happened to the Cheshire Cat.
See what happened.
It was like, okay, yeah, I'm seeing the panels now where he's like, yeah, my Mad Hatter negates and terminates chains. It's a chain that was born to kill other chains, and now I'm gonna take the core of the memories of this dimension, and then it was shit falling apart, and then we teleported out of there, and then we were just dealing with the Oz situation. Showing up there. I don't know if I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. Either way, that's fine. The Cheshire Cat not joining the main cast, that's fine. Okay, it would have been a fun little prediction if it happened, but I don't know. I thought the design for the Cheshire Cat was pretty cool, and then it felt like we just kind of dipped out of there pretty quickly. I don't know. I kind of expected more of the. I just expected more of a conclusion for that arc that was happening, I guess. I expected more from that. I was fine with everything that happened afterwards, though. All the stuff with Vincent and at Break and all that. I was fine with all that stuff, because those were, like, interesting developments with that. But, I just kind of wanted more with the Cheshire Cat closure, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I think it's a quirk of the author, because after the fact, followed several of their stories now, they do tend to do that. There'll be characters where I'm just like, oh, I love this character, and then they're like,
Who?
I'm tired. It's the Toy Story meme. I'm tired of playing with you.
Literally. Not near as
but the
bad
designs
as
are
Frozen
so
Maiden,
good.
but
True. True.
That's the upsetting part. It's like, you couldn't have written them back in, like.
Nah, one and done.
Well,
I'm realizing we're running out of Alice in Wonderland characters. And
I
we've
was
got a
thinking that
lot of
too.
book left.
I was thinking that too. I was like, what are
we've
we
got to
gonna
run into the Red Queen at some point, and
Yep.
then I can't list anymore.
She has to
Well,
kill them all
we-
first.
we did get 2 new characters towards the end of this volume.
We did. We got, if I remember, it was
Elliot and Leo.
Elliot and
Oh
Leo.
fuck!
Yes.
It is going to Wizard of Oz. God damn it!
Why not? You know.
It was a trick.
Okay,
Oh.
and then
Elliot's
eventually we get Umineko. Okay, anytime now.
So we break into the academy. We get dressed up for the academy sneaking in, which obviously we did not blend in properly. They immediately alerted the guards that there are intruders in the academy. They locked that shit down. Mod sees them. Yes. So they eventually.
Isn't it because the uncle tried to dress up as a student instead of a teacher?
I
Yeah.
think he was trying to. The idea was to try to have him pretend to be a teacher, but he was just dressed like a student. So they're just like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
Fuck you.
So they just immediately screamed, "Intruders!" So they were like, "Oh shit! All right, let's go." So they find Sharon eventually. I'm gonna be real. I was real worried that we were gonna immediately go the route of now she's older and very clearly has a crush on her own brother type deal. I was worried about that. And then we went into, the camera just zooming in on Gil when they're thinking about her crush. I don't know. And then the Oz and Uncle Oscar just being like, we're gonna have to kill him. We're gonna have to kill him, chat. We're gonna have to kill him. He's gotta go, chat. He's gotta go.
Also, we find out where the hat came from.
Yeah, the hat was from Ada, right? That was her name, Ada, the sister. So Ada's there now. I don't know if I accidentally called her Sharon before. If I did, I apologize. But Ada is her name.
Like, at least you didn't say Shen, then we would have really had a problem.
That's true. That's true. So they meet up with Ada. They catch up a little bit. I did appreciate that we did have a couple lines prior being like, hey, Oz, you haven't really asked anything about Sharon. Not Sharon. God damn it. You haven't really asked anything about your sister at all since you've been back. It's kind of weird. And we had a discussion where it's like you are very clearly the type of person who's trying to act like, well, this is just my circumstances. I'm not going to worry too much about it. And that we acknowledge that that's probably not healthy to view it like that. But I appreciate we at least had a couple pieces of dialogue related to that. I appreciated that a lot. I did also appreciate Elliot going hard in on Oz the whole volume. Bro, I like Elliot, okay? Elliot is introduced to us by Oz trying to figure out who the piano players were. He heard people playing on a piano who were just playing the song.
The piano again.
It was like the song that was, I think he heard from the pocket watch that he found at the beginning or something. It was something to that effect. He recognized the music, and so he's trying to find them. And it was Elliot and Leo, I believe, who were playing on the piano. But he finds Elliot while he's like looking through a library, and he finds a copy of his favorite manga that's still in production 10 years later, the Holy Knight manga series. It's got so many volumes to it now. Elliot has a discussion with Oz about it, immediately spoils a key event about it, and he's just like, listen, all right, a real fan would have known this by now. He's like, listen, I had 10 years of not being here, motherfucker. But the discussion was, so, what do you think about this character? I think his name, was it Edward or Edwin or something? Edgar? I think it was Edgar. How did you feel about Edgar? How did you feel about Edgar from Holy Knight? And Oz is like, oh my god, I love him. The way he sacrifices himself to like save the day, all the time he's willing to do that. And Elliot's like, I fucking hate people like that. People like that are the worst. They're the scum of the earth. And Oz is like, but that's me. I would do that. They're like having an argument about their manga thing, but of course it eventually gets tied into Oz's attitude towards the way he lives his life, and Elliot gives him a whole fucking speech later on about how his self-sacrificing nature is actually not like the noble thing that Oz thinks it is. It's actually just making everybody else ruin their lives to try to protect him. So it's not great to act like that, the way that Oz is. I forget the exact lines that were being said, but there was like a whole bunch that was being said there that was just like, yeah, get his ass. Yeah, get his ass. That's how I felt that whole scene, at least. Listen, I like Elliot, okay? I also like Leo. Leo's supposed to be his valet, I believe, and
yeah, Leo's my favorite character.
He was immediately like trying to be like, hey, Elliot, you should apologize to the boy. You like just kind of imposed your own fucking views onto this random person. And he's just like, shut the fuck up, Leo. I'm talking here.
I like every time he mentions Leo, it's like, Leo! It's like they're really annoyed.
I love their dynamic. It's very nice.
They're great.
Oh my god. Okay, I don't remember if there was any panels that hinted about it. Actually, no, I think there was. There was, because Ada showed up when they were talking, I guess, and Elliot like threw a tantrum towards the way that she was referring to him, like they were friends or whatever, and I'm just immediately like, oh, she likes Elliot. I was like, oh, I get it. Okay, all right. That was my thoughts at that scene. I don't know if that's actually gonna be who she's in. I mean, I don't believe the gag bit that happened where it was like,
no, it's clearly Gil. What are you talking about?
It's not gonna be Gil. Okay, it's not gonna be Gil.
We have to crucify Gil, Chef. It'd be funny. I swear.
It's definitely not gonna be Oz, right? It's probably Elliot.
No.
It's probably Elliot. So I mean, that's my prediction, at least based on the one tantrum that Elliot just threw, which is a lot to extrapolate, but still,
I mean,
listen. But listen, the reason why Elliot had to give this whole speech to Oz is because Oz gets fucking grabbed by the Baskervilles. They're just kind of hanging out there. We meet some Baskerville characters. 3 of them. One of them's name is Lottie. I think that is how you say her name. Another one is
Fang.
Fang, and was it Davu? I think somebody's was mentioned in the parody stuff, so I couldn't tell if that was actually his name. I think they called him Davu in one of them, but I don't know if that was his actual name in it. Let me see here. What was his name? There was Fang, and then there was somebody else. I don't even know if they're going to be listed here. There's
Alright,
Fang,
you
Doug.
remember?
Doug. Here it is. Doug.
What a name.
Doug.
It's just Doug.
That's
Okay.
That's always the great thing when mangakas try to like set things in Britain or just Europe in quotation marks, and then they pick like the most mundane names ever invented. John Smith.
No.
Listen, sometimes you're named Fang, other times you're named Doug. It just happens.
And sometimes they're named Oz. I don't know what to
Yeah,
tell ya.
it could be named Oz. Could happen.
Or Gil.
Oh, okay, so yeah, he gets nabbed. He gets nabbed by them, and they're just like, "Hey, we want to learn more about you." Lottie is saying while she's like rubbing up against him. I don't know how else to describe it. This is where I was
you
getting.
Could say it that way.
This is where I get towards the I think similar vibes that were happening in.
During Umineko?
No, not during Umineko. During the other work by the same author, the case study of Vanitas, where I'm like, oh, there's the aggressively straight side of the writing.
There's the borderline sexual assault parts.
Yeah.
At the very least, harassment.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
yeah. Kind of her style sometimes.
Listen. It happens, and they were trying
Especially
to.
in Jun Mochizuki works.
Oh God, they were trying to find out more information about. I think they were specifically looking for Glenn, because now that they know he's alive, or maybe they've always known he's alive, they want to know where Glenn is. They're the leader of the Baskervilles. They're trying to find out where he is, and they don't actually know apparently. So they want to know more information about the incident from years ago and where their leader is currently. And they've heard that Jack took over Oz's body. So once Lottie realizes that Jack can take over the body again, then she's trying to find a way to do that so that they can get information from Jack. And that's when Elliot and Leo show up, and Elliot reveals that they are an actual child of the Night Ray family, not an adopted child, and is like, all right, well, I'm gonna stop all this shit from happening. He tries to play it off like, I'm just here to get my stuff back. But he's like, no, I'm just here to bring the intruders in. He's like, no, he wants to save Oz, okay? It's fine. You can admit it. You can admit you want to save him. It's fine. So he's trying to save Oz, and Oz is trying to be sacrificing, and then we have to have a whole speech in the middle of running away from them. It's a thing.
Where's the panels of her going, if you had to hold a gun to your head and pull the trigger, would you do it? And it's just a close up of his face. Yeah.
It was immediate.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, I mean, obviously, duh. I'm like, bro, what's going on? What? He's like, yeah, I mean, of course.
Like a true American.
Be honest.
Just, of course, yeah. That's what I would obviously
They say
do.
honesty is the best policy after all.
Sure, yeah.
I think free beer is the best policy, but
Might be. Could be. I'm trying to find the frame. I know I'll find it. I think it was like one frame where it's just like a dark panel and it's just him saying, yeah, sure, I'd do it. Yeah. Oh, I found it. Here it is.
It's
This one.
yeah.
He almost looks confused as to why it's a question.
yeah. He's like, yeah. What do you mean? Of course. What are you talking about? Of course I would. Would
Like,
you
that's
be able to point
that's
the
the
gun?
eyes of somebody who's envisioning it right now.
And what's the problem with that? I don't see the issue here.
That's the only issue. If that's the only option, I wouldn't think twice about it. And I'm just like, okay, so this is why Break would say shit like, "You're a freaky kid. Something's wrong with you, man. I don't know what's going on there."
Maybe, quite possibly.
Yeah, something's happening there, man. And I think the I don't know if the implication is, or maybe it was just flat out said or whatever. I don't know if it would necessarily be that he wants to die, but I think it's more so he doesn't care if he dies.
Yeah.
Primarily because of like how he's always been treated in the past, sort of like he's shouldn't exist for reasons he doesn't fully understand. And so his nature of not really worrying about things and not really worrying what happens to him as long as everybody else is alive and happy is kind of influenced by that kind of nature, which is obviously not a healthy at all way to live. And that's why Elliot gets to go on a fucking rant on his ass about it, and I was glad for it, because goddamn. And I think towards the end was when he was Oz was starting to like break and realize that the way he's acting, like he started to think more about why he acts that way, at least, because before it seemed like he was just running on autopilot, that kind of attitude, and now he's actually trying to wrestle with like why he feels that way, at least, which I appreciated. So there's a lot that kind of happened with the development of that kind of stuff. But with all that kind of stuff in mind, how did we feel about our new characters for this week? We didn't have too many, but for the ones that we did have, I feel like they were pretty standout, I think. We have adult Oz's sister, well, not adult, but older Oz's sister. I forget how old she would be now, like 16, 18 maybe? I don't know how old she'd be.
15-ish.
15, okay. So we have her, so we have Ada, we have the three Baskervilles, Lottie, Fang, and Doug. And we have
Doug.
Doug.
and we have Elliot and Leo. How do we feel about new characters? If anybody has thoughts about them, I liked
Oh, we
them.
forgot.
Yippee!
Also, Leo's a gun. I feel like that needs to be mentioned.
Of course, I mean all good valets do. Gil, yeah, he's a Night Ray after all, right? I'm assuming Leo's a Night Ray. I don't know for sure. But, I mean, he's a valet for a Night Ray. That makes him a Night Ray too.
true
Right? Is that how that
American.
works? Well, listen, that's just how it works. Okay, all the Night Ray valets have black hair and a gun. That's just how it works.
He's not good with it. He just has it.
That was
Listen.
not a requirement to be
Oh.
good with it. So
Just
I-
Like
okay.
90% of a
That's
gun's
not
job
what
is
Chad
just being able to
listed.
point it at somebody, you know?
Yeah.
black
Look,
hair
look,
and a gun. Not
Yeah.
the gun
proficiency.
is so good that being bad, you're still better than most people. That's the gun balancing right there.
But for new characters, low bar, but I'm glad Ada's not a Brocon.
base. Again, I was
Very
worried
low
about that
bar.
too. I was worried about that too.
Wait, hold on. Something Ada said that I forgot to mention. It's like, yeah, Oz, you're still great. Even though you're sure that I remember. Which is
Yeah.
what I would say to Nyan.
Damn.
I think that happened once actually.
Wow. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't really think I got to learn or like get to know Ada too well yet to like really form an opinion about her. I think I liked her design at least. But I didn't really. The only thing I
That's
know
not
about
better.
her is that she the author appears to draw her blushing thinking about several different characters through various different degrees of reasonings for doing this, I guess. She has reasonings for thinking about her brother, reasons for thinking about Gil, reasons for thinking about whoever she's in love with, I guess. Reasons for that. So in my mind, she's like, she's an academy student who has not been a part of the story up until now, and her role now is to be in love with somebody, is what it feels like. I don't know if she's going to play more of a role than that, but but right now that's where she's at in my head. So Will she disappear into the background again and be forgotten for the rest of the story? I don't know, but at least she's here, and again, I do like her design at least, so that's nice.
I feel like she's gonna be like set as an anchor for Oz to give him a reason to give a shit about living.
That would be nice. That would be nice. But the more standout female character that we had for this week was Lottie, whose design was amazing design. However,
Amazing choice in furniture.
however, yeah,
Delightful.
she likes her Iron Maiden chairs for it's fine. And then she likes to do some stuff with our main character here.
Ironically, though.
Based.
Get you the kind of
Any
woman
more
that would
thoughts
actually kill
on
you.
Lottie?
Good looking.
I mean, that's true. It's true. I would agree. Yeah, I mean, she stands out more than the other two guys we have here, Fang and Doug. I mean, I think Doug looked kind of cool though, at least. But Doug, I
Yeah,
couldn't even remember
one
Doug
of
was a
them
thing.
has a scar on the face.
Yeah, that's Fang.
Yeah, they're two guys. Like they're kind of
They're
interchangeable.
the paisanos, okay? Don't worry
Maybe
about
at some
Actually-
point they'll get a character, but
Well, actually,
Lottie and the boys. Like, let's be real here.
both boys appear to have a
In the
scar
book.
on their face. I remembered Fang had like a scar on his face. He had like spiky hair, and he had like a sword. And I was like, okay, so
Is
I
this
can.
scar? I assumed it was a tattoo.
Oh
That's
yeah,
more than I
no, you're
remember.
right. It might be a tattoo. I think because I'm looking at the Annalist page now. Both Fang and Doug appear to have some mark on their face, so I'm gonna assume they're tattoos as well, based on how they look. I don't think Lottie has one though. I didn't know if like maybe because both of them have it, that meant like all the Baskervilles do, but it doesn't look like Lottie does, or at least not in this image. So I don't know. But yeah, I remembered Fang sticking out a little bit more for me, and then I was just like, the other dude is just dude with a hoodie. I don't know who the fuck. I think he was like a short little fat guy. I don't know. I couldn't remember. But you have Doug.
Dude with the hoodie is right.
Dude with a hoodie. Listen.
Again, Lottie and the guys.
Lottie and the Sons.
The boys.
It's the Lottie gang, okay? That's all you need to know. So yeah, and then we could talk about other people's thoughts about Elliot and Leo. How do we feel about Elliot and Leo? I think they're going to be some of my favorite characters in the series, probably overall. Like Elliot is very.
And then you never see them ever again.
Oh God! Don't do that to me! Don't do that to me! They're gonna Cheshire Cat Elliot. No, don't do it. No, don't do that to me. Oh.
I am curious why they knew the piano song.
Oh, ooh, that is interesting. That is interesting. We didn't find out about that because he was too busy fighting with them to realize, oh wait, I was supposed to. Those were the guys I was supposed to talk to about that. He's like, oh, I'll talk to them later, and then he got kidnapped.
The 15-year-old brain cells went out over the detective instinct. So.
Listen, if somebody just came up to me and told me my taste in manga was shit, and they went off on me for like 20 minutes, I'd probably forget I was trying to talk to them about something else too.
It's played by a One Piece fan.
You know.
Oh damn! I skipped 10 years in advance, so think of all the One Piece I can read now.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
It's
Wait,
still
what do you mean
going.
it's still going?
Oh yeah, didn't Lottie have a tiger or a lion too? She summoned a
Traverse,
lion.
maybe?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It was just bringing out. She's bringing out a lion chain. Why not?
I think it's a tiger.
I'm looking for
You
the.
can't have the
panel.
lion fight Leo. That'd just be silly.
Okay, I'm seeing the panel now. It is in fact a lion.
Okay.
Let me paste it here. I think they even say a lion, and then they said the lion after. I did notice that
that's very
too.
definitely a lion. Yeah.
I did notice that too. The lion and Leo. That would be silly, wouldn't it? That would be.
That's what I would say. if I
Leon
saw
the
a
lion.
Why
It
does he have a
did-
crown?
Because he's
Elliot,
the king of the jungle.
Leo. Yeah, he's the king of the
Right.
jungle. That's
You know,
Also,
good for him.
possibly Narnia.
Narnia, exactly.
Not another story tie-in.
It's all connected. All of it.
All comes back to Minako somehow.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. What else was there? Because these are like the
bonus
key.
memes.
Oh yeah, the bonus memes. So
Okay,
we
got
went
that with the good one, the best part. This
Oh.
clearly, and also the other one. Let me grab it.
Well, they're both. I thought they were both good. One of them was a whole blurb about the Holy Knight manga. At first, it was supposed to be a synopsis of the series, and then the rest of it was just the fandom's views of the characters, and it was just paragraphs about how there's two Eds. There's Edgar and Edwin. Edgar is the one that they argued about, who is like the self-sacrificing valet or whatever. And it was just whole paragraphs about how all of the fans of the series only loved Edgar, and they kept forgetting that Edwin, the main character, existed. And then when they had Edgar die in the story, they were just like, oh, well, I kind of like Edwin after he cut his hair and looked kind of more like Edgar.
After Edgar died, his Sibs like broke a window.
Yeah, it was like there was an incident, okay? A mirror got shattered and that mirror became immortalized in the fandom.
Also, this is the prequel to Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Okay, it's canon now. There's two Eds.
And so, like, it had this description of it, and then the page afterwards was the different explanations from Oz and Elliot for why they liked each character from Holy Knight. And Oz is just like all cutesy and excited. He's like, oh my god, I love the way Edgar's like this. He's like fangirling out about her. And then Edwin's just like, I fucking hate that guy, okay? Edwin should be getting more attention, okay? But instead, that piece of shit, that fucking asshole. And then they fight. And this is a little funny, but I liked it. I thought it was a nice little bit. I liked it. I do really enjoy how the author handles these little comedy parody things towards the end. It really does showcase how much the author is just really having fun with this stuff. You know, they're all very funny, very detailed with the bit. They fully commit to it. And then we have
I'm just
one...
really sad I missed out on the sale for the Emily doll.
Oh yes.
Well, you can still
I'm sure
get it.
Emily fan wouldn't have.
What were you gonna say, Ari?
I think the more tragic a series is, the more the writer is adept, or at least comfortable with comedy.
Yeah.
Because that's a recurring thing I see, where like the more tragic the series is, the more like comedy bits the author adds to different parts, like to interludes or to the little omakes at the end, things like that.
Right. It does also make it easier to make it funny in my mind, because it's like, okay, these are all characters in a super serious story, and now they're just fucking around in like an advertisement for an Emily doll. You know, it helps. It helps.
Not only just an Emily doll. We got a whole thing here. We got cooking recipes of the Gil. You know,
Oh, that's
here's
true.
them in maid outfits. Here's them in a
Yep.
Tokimeki style game.
Yep.
You know, like
the author even likes to I think I mentioned it earlier. They inject jokes about how certain characters weren't in the volume and how sad they're being. Emily's crying. Okay, Emily's crying in this advertisement. Why did I show up? And now she gets an advertisement for her. Okay, you gotta get the Emily doll. It used to sell for 99,999 yen, but now you can get it for only 49,000 yen. Oh my god, that's like
roughly 400.
What a bargain!
Yeah,
US dollars.
for
in this
$400.
economy, it might be like 300.
Like 350, something like that.
It may be like
Yeah.
$3. You know.
But I know in
It's
Canadian,
price
it's
for
actually like
happiness.
surprisingly close. It's like 400 something.
At the bottom, it's got the customer reviews, and it took me a bit to understand that their names were purposely
Fucked up.
yeah, they were
Mhm.
purposely written wrong. I was like, oh, Reimu, that was his actual name, right? It's like Raim, but without the U at the end. And I was like, wait a minute,
I
Gilbert?
love Reimu.
I don't
I
remember
also love
Gilbert.
Gilbert.
And I was like, Dagu? Oh, maybe that was his name. I don't fucking remember.
Doug.
That's Doug, yeah, but he's Dagu. Wait, the reviews though. The reviews that they wrote.
Reviews are so
Okay,
good.
Gills was a boss who doesn't act human, a master who's too mischievous, a carnivorous rabbit, a lady with disquieting screen tones in the background. I was getting daily stomach aches thanks to my comrades, but they became suspicious and stopped approaching me after I started carrying this doll around. Reimu is just going, after I got this doll, I stopped forgetting to clean my glasses, and the girl I adored told me she loves me. Now I won't let people say I have no presence. There will come a time when my forehead and glasses and single-lidded sanpaku eyes will lead Pandora. Okay, I believe in you. Dagu's just go, to be honest, I had misgivings about wearing this red robe for work since it stands out so much, but after I got the doll, my self-confidence blossomed, and now the girls love me and lovingly call me Giant Red Riding Hood-chan. That's the power of Emily. That's what Emily could do for you. So you gotta make sure to call a toll-free number.
You see, you get a free cell phone strap, too.
Yeah, you do get a free cell phone strap. That is true. What were some other jokes on the first page of the thing, though? Let me see here. Yeah, learning to cook. You get to cook with Gilbert's easy recipes. Oz Vesalius loses his mind in Pandora. Yes, that was truly a terrible incident. The hero from 100 years ago tells all.
It's like a tabloid or something.
Sharon Rainworth's angry press conference. Why don't I appear in a single panel? Then we have a picture of Echo in the Pandora Hearts outfit. Is there any truth to the rumor she's joining Pandora?
You know it's good when like the memes are like compiling back on themselves. Like they're coming back.
Break, servant of a certain dukedom, suspected of cruelty to animals. It's got Break beating up the Cheshire Cat, saying it's time for your punishment. Yeah, so these are the bits that we have. Again, all fun bits. Okay, they're all good.
My
bits.
personal favorite at the very bottom right.
Oh yeah, what does it say? The heroine makes a verbal gaffe. If they can't eat cake, let them eat meat. Oh.
Finally, a character I can understand.
Okay,
I hate cake.
Well, okay. Interesting takes. Fuse Hunter in the chat said, my Emily saved me hundreds on therapy bills. Thanks, Emily. That's another satisfied customer.
Yay.
Another
See,
satisfied
that's
customer.
progress.
So make sure to call the toll-free number and order your Emily today. Only 49,000 yen.
I'm calling right now.
Okay, well.
Okay, and you get your money back if it doesn't work for you.
That's true. That's true. And a free cell phone strap. It just comes with it. Just get it for free. Alright, well that was the bonus meme bits. What else did we have to discuss about this week? I feel like we kind of blasted through a lot of the main events that happened. I don't really know if there was too much to go into.
There's some other
about them.
flashback themes with Gilbert and Break. There's Gilbert learns to use a gun, and his method.
Wait, can you refresh me on that?
His method is all the targets they just make him look like Break and aiming perfect.
Oh yeah, I get better at hitting the targets once I began imagining your face on them. It was then I realized he rather seriously dislikes me.
And then there's Gilbert using "or" to refer to himself.
Ore versus Boku, yeah.
Yeah.
Which that one for a lot of people need the translation notes at the end to understand why that difference made sense. I think it was something like one is for younger boys and one's for older men, or like more serious men, or something like that. I forget what it was.
Yeah, because
trying to get Gil to be more confident. But I think the joke more so worked in the manga version. He was using like the katakana to refer to himself as well, not even the like the kanji version of the way to refer to yourself, which I think is supposed to make it seem even more childish. So there's layers to it. Okay, there's layers.
Like an onion.
Yeah, true. Okay. What else do we have here? I don't know how I feel about Jack at this point. I still don't know if I fully trust. I mean, he seems like he is on our side. I don't know if I trust that he's telling us the full truth about things. He claims to be, he is Jack Vesalius from back then, and he appears to be wanting to help Oz in terms of protecting Alice. He appears, I believe he also mentioned that Glenn Baskerville was a friend of his, which I think was another reason why I kind of wondered whether or not Gil was a Baskerville, because I didn't know if perhaps Glenn is the father of Gil and Vincent, and because Jack was a friend of Glenn, and then the Baskervilles decided to do all that, if he still did not want to kill Glenn, and this is why he, I guess, potentially made it appear like he was dead, and then warned everybody about it today, or at least the word spread that Glenn was dead. I don't actually know what supposedly happened to Jack in the 100 years ago thing, but he appears now to be saying, so you guys think Glenn's dead, he's not dead. So I'm just warning you guys about that. Whether or not that means that he got away from being defeated, or if like if he snuck away, or if Jack let him go because he was a friend of his, I'm not sure. But I think the implication now is for them to try to find Glenn, not necessarily to kill Glenn, but to find him and figure something else out after. That was my implication about what things seem to be happening. But again, I could just be misunderstanding certain panels or misremembering things. So that's where I understood things being out there.
Is the intention of the Abyss?
Maybe.
Oh
Maybe
no.
it is. All according to the intention.
The answers, they're lost in chaos.
Maybe. So we have our Baskerville trio, we have Elliot and Leo, we have Ada, and Jack was from last week, but he's still like a new character that's kind of sticking around in spirit. I did again find it very funny when Jack took over Oz's body and everybody could just feel his aura. And I'm just like, oh, that's they're just like, listen, that child, he's so confident now, it must be him. I sure, yeah. Just
Riz that extends beyond the grave.
You just got that posture, you got that presence, you know?
We've introduced time travel shenanigans to a point of potentially implying that several of our characters could be from 100 years ago. Now I'm just like, where did Oz come from? Is his dad actually his dad, or where the fuck did Oz come from? Like, is Ada actually his sister? What's going on with all this? Cause several characters are like, I just have amnesia, I don't remember anything before this year or whatever. Okay, was that from trauma, or is it because you're like from the past and some other meme is blocking your memories, or what's going on here? What's the deal with Gilbert's and Vincent? What's the, and Alice is apparently used to be human and now she's a chain. How did that process happen? What did she have a contract with the chain, and then the incuse or whatever went a full rotation and now she's a chain? Is that what happens to people, or was it something else? Or I mean, I thought it looked like she got caught up at the massacre thing, but I'm not sure. I also didn't know how much of those memories might have been like a warped perception of them, because I believe that was also happening in that dimension. So I wasn't sure if that was trying to pull a little trick on the readers too, potentially, but I'd imagine with some of the details that wouldn't really be used as a trick, potentially, like Vincent being there. I don't really know why that would be there, if not to actually build up his character. I don't know. It could potentially be one of those memes where it's like, it's a character that Alice knew, so he was just injected into the dream. I don't know. I'd imagine it was probably a detail of what actually happened. But these are all just thoughts that kind of were going through my head as I'm reading them, because I'm trying to be like, I'm trying to predict certain things about what may or may not happen. I'm trying not to like dive too into my predictions though. Like I'm not trying to be like, oh, this is the solution to like a mystery, like a big murder mystery thing or whatever. I'm just trying to have like a couple ideas of what may or may not be revealed. Many of which I will not be disappointed if they are like correct predictions or not. Just because I can predict them doesn't mean I'll be like upset about them or whatever. I think I like the idea that Gil and Vincent are just from 100 years in the past. I don't know if I like the idea of Oz and other characters also being from 100 years in the past. I feel like if it's just like those two characters, I'd be more so okay with it. If we're extending it to like, I mean, obviously Alice would be also from that time if Alice died there, but that's whatever. Alice is a different thing because now she's a chain, okay? But if like several of the members of our cast are from that weird incident in the past, and we started it at like a future present time, it would just make me confused at why we did it like that, I think. If it turns out every single character that we knew was actually just from 100 years in the past, and now they're just in the present, and now we're just discovering that everybody's from, I don't know. Again, more thoughts just going through my head. What do other people have for thoughts going through their head? For like predictions, or like things that they did predict at some point, or were thinking about, theorizing? Does anybody have any theories about things or events to come?
I'm currently fine with the time travel shenanigans as long as they are going in a purely forward direction.
Okay.
Like, the moment somebody's like, ha ha, I'm your grandpa.
Which, I mean, Jack, technically, right, if he's a Vasilius, would that make him the grandpa of Oz or great-great-grandpa? I don't know how that works. 100 years? How old was Jack? How old does Jack look?
Yeah, 20-something.
By that logic, Oz could just turn to his uncle, and while Jack's possessing him, he could go, "I'm your grandpa."
Now that would be funny. Okay,
that's what we call it.
As long as he has the aura, for it. Okay.
It's not even something actually. Jack is just Oz fucking with him.
I will say, when they got teleported out of the dimension and they showed up in front of Uncle Oscar, I had thought it was Uncle Oscar saying, "Who are you?" And I thought they had teleported back in time before Oz was born, for a moment, before I realized they just went back to the past and it was somebody else saying, "Who are you?" Because he was to me like, "Uncle Oscar, is that you?" And they were just like in the middle of a conference thing that was happening. But for a moment, I thought it was the uncle saying, "Who are you?" and that they had traveled back before he was born. And I was like, "Oh, are we doing this now? What's going on here?" I just recently played Chrono Trigger, and now we're doing this memes to me. So yeah. Because I keep getting worried about how much of a time travel story this could end up being. Right now, I'm glad for, like Aztec said, I'm glad for the way that we're handling it currently. I don't want it to become a big, huge, massive time travel story thing. So I feel like it's fine for certain parts of it. I did enjoy it for bringing Oz 10 years into the future, for several reasons, of like the development of things and several characters being older while Oz is still his younger self. So I did enjoy that aspect of it, but I don't want it to be a whole thing where they're just traversing through time. I think the only time I would be okay with them doing time travel shenanigans at this point is if they are going literally back to the incident 100 years ago to see what happened then, perhaps. Outside of like a dream scenario of it happening. If they go to that to see what happens there, and maybe they fuck around with the timeline and either change things or cause things to happen that were going to happen or whatever. If it's something like that, I'll be fine with that. If it's anything beyond that, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that, but we'll see. It depends on how the author handles it, I guess.
Like, all I can say is that so far the time travel makes more sense than Sailor Moon.
That's true. It again, bars in hell. But you know what?
I appreciate some logic.
That's true. Okay. Any other thoughts and or predictions that people were having that they want to express here? Okay.
I feel like I just really need to give half the characters a hug and tell them it's okay,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, these people would be so much happier if they took their boatloads of money and just fucked off. Is this really their problem? Can't they go find a nice beach somewhere?
That is kind of a lot of my favorite stories. If the characters just ran off, a lot of things would be resolved, and they would be at least 10% happier. Just pick a person and pick a direction.
You know, just get out of there. But he's the chosen one, okay? We need him. He's the and
yeah, he's chosen to live a life in Cancun.
with Alice and Gil just hanging out. Yeah.
I think they all need their own Emily doll.
That's true. That would also help. I think they could all afford one. You know, I think they could. Oh, you know what I also noticed this week? There was a line that said, these fucking people have only been around for like a week in the story so far. It's been like a week. I'm like, how? It's been like a fucking week. And apparently Oz is like, has all these thoughts and would die for like Alice. And I'm just like, I kept thinking like, bro, you met her like 3 days ago. And because
I've only had Alice for 10 minutes, but
Yeah.
if anything happened
Anything
to her.
happened to her?
and like Break and Oz, like when they're talking, he's just like, you know, you're always fucking with us and meddling with our lives and all that. And I'm like, you've known him for like 4 days. I mean, it's Break, so it's a lot of stuff he could do at that time, but I'm just like, holy shit, if that's a week. And the hand on his Incubus has been moving already in that 1 week. Quite an amount. I forget what time we appear to be at now, but it's been moving. So it's
Like, okay, we don't have much time to work with here.
if that's in like a week, oh boy, we don't got a lot of time here with that, the rate that's moving.
Yeah, like a couple months at
You
most.
know, it's fine. Everything is fine for everybody except the Cheshire Cat. Everything is fine. Oh, so yeah, so the other thing I guess we have to talk about, because the bell was destroyed, which had the memories of the incident and or Alice's memories in general, does this mean that we just kind of can't get Alice's memories back anymore, or was that only the memories of the incident?
Okay.
And get most of them back, because I mean that felt like the only real thing that Oz was trying to do things for anymore was to get her memories back, and we kind of eliminated that option. Not that they necessarily know that, because that was just Break dealing with Vincent in private. I don't think they necessarily know that. I mean, I forget if they mentioned that to him in their little discussion with Oz. I forget if they mentioned that. I just remembered Oz being like,
they brought it up.
Okay, because I just remember Oz being like, so what'd you guys talk about? He's like, not telling. But yeah, no, I think I do remember, like you said, I think it was mentioned about the bell being her memories or something, and how he had to trade for them. So now I'm just like, okay, what do we do with Alice now? What do we do with that? Or do we?
I want to say that's just like her direct memories. Like they can still just find out what happened. It just won't be her point of view.
I see. Okay. So we'll just investigate the thing. I mean, we are still trying to help Pandora find the secret Baskerville door, I guess. So we still have that objective to go for. And the intention of the Abyss, looking into that situation. But for now, we tried to have a little side mission to go have a change of pace with Uncle Oscar, going to visit Sister Ada, who apparently was just informed that Oz was alive by, like, mail. Uncle Oscar just kind of wrote Ada. It was just like, yeah, so your brother's alive. Anyways, hope you're having fun at school. I mean, we didn't get to read the letter, but that's how I imagined it went, because I'm just like, how the fuck do you just drop that on her like that? Like, yeah, your brother's just, he's fine. And still we had, like, no... Okay, again, I understand. Oz is just kind of not trying to think too much about some of this stuff, but again, as the reader, and I think this is our first week doing it too, I was like, how come we're not worried about where the uncle is, where the sister is? How come we're not worried about these things? And then the uncle was introduced to us again last week through just a random arm wrestling contest. He just showed up in the middle of it. He was like, hey guys, how's it going? And then this week, it was just, oh yeah, she's already been told by letter, so now we're just going to stop at her school. And like, they have a moment where they reconnect and they talk again, but I'm still just like, these are very awkward ways to bring back important family members to this child's life. He's just having fun going on an adventure, I guess, but like still, I say fun in quotes because it's not very fun most of the time, but he is trying to act like he's having fun, which is not healthy for him.
I was going to say, to be fair, it was established in these chapters that he has taken an extremely unhealthy life is what it is point of view to literally everything since his dad abandoned him.
It's not great, but like I kind of was trying to think to myself, like, we did have the line this week trying to address the fact that he has not even thought to ask about his sister or whatever, and I was glad for that. But there's a part of me that's just like, I'm glad the author introduced that as a concept, but another part of me is just like, okay, but what if the author just didn't give a fuck about the uncle and the sister at first, and then was like, oh, you know what, maybe I should introduce them back in, and I can incorporate this into Oz's trauma that we got to deal with. There was a part of me that was just wondering if, like, the author did not really care about those characters initially, and was just going to vaguely explain what happened to them in the time jump later, but then decided, you know what, maybe I will bring them back. Maybe it's more important for his trauma journey for them to just be there. But then we didn't really come up with a more creative way to introduce them. So they were just like, all right, they're just back now. Everybody's just established that they're back now. He's going to show up in an arm wrestling contest. I don't know. It felt weird to me, is what I'm getting at here. It felt weird to me. Similar to being weird that the Cheshire Cat's just kind of gone, and I didn't remember that actually being fully resolved. Things like that, where I'm just like, is the author just getting tired, being like, I'm tired of playing with you? But now they're like picking it up again, like, oh, okay, maybe we could have some fun with this. Or, you know, was it like a more planned thing? I don't know. I mean, the nature of these, I'm assuming this was a weekly release. I don't know. It could have been a monthly release for the manga chapters. Okay, it was a monthly. Okay, so I assume the nature of these these series, you know, some things could be planned out in the long term. Others they could like improvise based on like either reader feedback or like the author's own different ideas for what they could do. Various different things could influence these kind of decisions in the middle of the production. And I just kind of have those ideas in my head. It doesn't necessarily ruin the story if that is the reason why that happened, but it would explain why they were brought back in the way that they were brought back, as opposed to a more impactful way to be brought back, I guess. I did at least appreciate for bringing Ada back. We had a whole new setting that was a whole like thing that was built up, the like academy with the, you know, all the different people there, and now we have 2 new characters that are there. That I liked. I like that bit. They turned that into like an arc, essentially, like a little mini arc thing. The uncle was just like, let's have an arm wrestling contest to get a hat back for a chapter. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess. All right. Yeah. Okay, what else do we have here? I don't know how much more we have to go with here. I mean, if other people have thoughts that they want to express and talk about, we can. I think we already went over most of the actual plot points, though, and the bonus meme stuff. I don't know how much more to talk about on my end, but if other people have topic ideas that they want to get into, we definitely can. So does anybody have anything that they would like to discuss, or questions that they have, or anything? Okay, well, I'm not hearing anything, so perhaps we should wrap it up for this week, maybe? Unless anybody wants to express predictions that they have. Does anybody have predictions? Actually, no. Let's do the thing we did last week. We'll go through the list of people in order, ask opinions about the readings this week, what they liked about it, didn't like about it, and any predictions you may or may not have. We'll just do that because we did that last week. We'll do it again here. Starting from the top. I mean, you already know what happens, but what did you like or dislike about the stuff this week? Arimia Alice, what'd you like?
I liked Elliot and Leo showing up.
Based?
Yippee.
They were great characters.
Yippee!
I do agree.
Yeah. Yeah, the Jack part was cool. It was chuny.
That's true.
Always like
That's
a
true.
good chuny scene. Yeah. Yeah,
All right, fair enough.
chuny.
Chuny out of 10. I understand. Aztec, what did you like about this week, and or any predictions that you have?
I was honestly just kind of lukewarm on this week.
Yeah.
Didn't like things happened, but it also just didn't feel like a lot progressed. It kind of felt like the school thing was a comedy bit at first, and then it's like, oh no, this is the actual plot happening, but only kinda.
Yeah, I liked the Academy thing in concept. I'm liking where it's gone so far with the Academy thing. I was kind of hoping, personally, that we were going to build up the Academy even more so. I thought they were going to be hidden at first and, like, being able to explore how the Academy is normally for a lot of the people before they sound the alert on the intruders, but no, that was immediate. So, that happened. I think... I do agree with some bits where I think I was mostly lukewarm with the ending of the Cheshire Cat fight stuff. Even though there was some panels that looked cool for what was happening there, I think most of that stuff I didn't really care for towards the end. It was more just like, oh yeah, I guess we were in the middle of that arc. I can't wait to see how it. Oh, it's already over. Oh, okay. Well, we're just back home now, and now we have to deal with the situation there. All right, that's done now. And I was like, okay, we're moving on from that. So, like, I don't really have too much to say about the Cheshire Cat fight stuff anymore, just because of how we just kind of ended that. So, that was how I felt about it. So I did agree about that. I like the Academy stuff more so, at least. But it may also have the same effects with where it goes next week, for all I know. I have no idea. But, yeah. Anything else, Aztec?
I assume Ada and Elliot are gonna get some Romeo and Juliet stuff going on. That's my only real prediction for the future.
Yeah, it may happen. We have introduced poison, so there's that element. Could happen. The antidote's gone now, though. Don't worry about that. All right. Sinner Shino, what did you like about this week?
Girls cute as always. Echo is a very good girl. The Ada reunion was pretty cute, and I love Lottie. Good stuff. I think the plot is moving along quite nicely. Actually, a lot of the characters were introduced a bit earlier than I remember it being, but it's been a long time since I read it, so it's nice to reread Pandora Hearts.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, they're in this one, like, cause Ada was there, and I was like, oh wow, and then I forgot that Elliot and Leo are also at the Academy. I'm like, oh wait, we're getting all of
What a
them
pleasant
in
surprise.
one volume.
Everyone's here.
1, 2, 3 punch.
in a sequence that that felt like a comedy bit at first, but it's like, nope, there's plot happening. So
Things are happening. Did you know?
anything else, Shino?
Nope.
All right, well, thank you for that. Shadow, what did you like about this week?
Elliot and Leo. They're a very
Based.
interesting duo.
Based. Anything else you liked and or predictions?
No, I got nothing else.
Sweet. All right. Baguetti, what did you like about this week?
I think I liked how they could still introduce good characters, even though it felt like it feels like at the beginning they've introduced all the characters that they need to, but they can juggle a lot of characters. That's something I can't do. Overwhelmed with all the characters. My prediction, I hope that they have a volume where they only have Emily but not Break as revenge.
That'd be very funny.
That would be amazing. Holy shit.
Although I'm not sure how we go about that though.
I think hold up. I think it should be a volume where it's the continuing plot, but every role is played by Emily.
Ooh.
We got like an Emily puppet show of what happened.
Yeah, it's like a different little hat that she wears. Like she'll wear like Gil's hat, and other
An
items.
Emily-sized Gilbert hat.
Yes.
Or an Ari-sized
Not-
Gilbert hat.
Not the regular size, but her size. Yes, you understand the vision.
True.
Okay, wait, no. But when he's doing Break, does Emily also have like a smaller, tinier Ari-sized Emily on her shoulder?
She has a break on her shoulder.
Oh gosh.
We need this.
How the roles have reversed, Break. How the tides have turned.
That's the only character that like actually looks like themselves. The tiny break.
Jun Mochizuki.
No, not a tiny break. Carry around a full-size break on the shoulder.
Listen, Jun Mochizuki, our podcast is open for anybody to jump in, so feel free to jump in if you want to talk more about our ideas, okay? I think we're cooking here. So
Yeah. We will not charge for a consult.
all right. Anything else we got?
But you do need to give us free Emily.
Of course, we need
dolls.
free Emily dolls. That's just a given. We need that.
That'll bring them
It's a
back
small price.
one last time.
I hear so many good things. All right. Anybody have anything else before we wrap it up for this week? All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming around for another exciting week of the Anime Book Club for Pandora Hearts. We will be back next week. Hopefully. Wait, are some people not going to be here because of off-kai stuff?
Yeah, me and Sheena won't be here.
Okay, so there may be a potential that
no.
we move next week, but we'll see what happens with that. So, so it's you two aren't going to be here, so it'll just be me, Aztec, Shadow, and Baguetti. Do we want to
And
move?
possibly Anne.
Oh yeah, okay. So do we want to push this back a week, or move it to a different day, or what do we want to do with this? Or do we just continue with the week? What do we feel like doing?
Special off-kai episode.
You can phone in from off-kai. Do it.
I've read it, so I'm fine with whatever. If y'all want to continue.
Oh, that is true. Both of you have already read this. That is true. Well, it's up to you two. If you two are fine with us meeting without you guys for like a week, we could do that. But
Sheena, what you think?
How you feeling, Chino?
I think it's fine either way.
Okay. If either of you want to post any of your thoughts about the reading for this week in the chats, we'll be sure to read it out on the stream, though. Otherwise, you can tell us the next week or whatever. So either way, we could do it like that. So we will still plan to meet next week, and then we'll go with it from there. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. Oh, we have a YouTube chatter. Driver, yo, I just came in here. What the fuck? Oh, sorry. You joined us right towards the very end, Driver. I apologize. Don't worry. The VOD will still be here immediately afterwards. I did not do that soundboard. That was somebody else who did that soundboard. I would not laugh at you, Driver. I'm not laughing at you. This is not, I did not press that. Anyways, you can check out the VOD, and we will be meeting next week to discuss the next volume, so thank you so much for stopping by. Check out the streams every Thursday night starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick all at the same time. You can visit all those links at wolfborg.com, or you can just go to youtube.wolfborg.com, twitch.wolfborg.com, or kick.wolfborg.com. And if you want to be a part of the book club, and or if you would like to be a part of the discussions live, you can do either way. Join discord.wolfborg.com to join in on the Discord, grab yourself the book club role, and you can just hang out. So thank you so much, everybody, for stopping on by. Let's see who's online for us to raid on Twitch. We're going to raid... I thought somebody was online earlier that I saw. I don't know if they're still online. They are not. We're going to raid Dia Fortuna. They're continuing 100 line live fan voice reading. Oh boy. So go check that out if you are interested. And we will talk to you all later. Goodbye, gamers. Goodbye, stream. Goodbye. Goodbye, stream. Bye-bye.